Okay, exactly 8 o'clock. Huh? A very good evening to all brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. So today is the 21st November 2023. Huh? It's a Tuesday fast. So as usual, we shall gather and have our physical puja. Huh? Let us compose our minds, develop the faith, saddha, virya, then mindfully we shall commence the puja chanting. You can hang it anywhere. Yeah. My tray will be nice. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay. Nam mô Bổn Sư释迦牟尼佛. Nam mô Bổn Sư释迦牟尼佛. Nam mô Bổn Sư释迦牟尼佛. Nam mô Quan世音菩萨. Nam mô Quan世音菩萨. Nam mô Quan世音菩萨. Nam mô A Di Đà Phật. Nam mô A Di Đà Phật. Nam mô A Di Đà Phật. Nam mô Mê La Phật. Nam mô Mê La Phật. Nam mô Mê La Phật. Nam mô Phật Siết Phật Sa. Nam mô Phật Siết Phật Sa. Nam mô Phật Siết Phật Sa. Nam mô Di Đà Phật Sa. Nam mô Di Đà Phật Sa. Nam mô Di Đà Phật Sa. Nam mô Phật Phật Sa. Nam mô Phật Phật Sa. Nam mô Phật Phật Sa. Arahant Sama Sambuddho Bhagavan Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi. Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami. Supatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Sanghang Namami. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Buddhang Saranang Gacchami. Dhammang Saranang Gacchami. Sanghang Saranang Gacchami. Tutiyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami. Tutiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami. Tutiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami. Tatiyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami. Tatiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami. Tatiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami. Panatipata Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Aditadana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Mamesu Miccacharang Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Musawada Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Surameraya Vacchapamatana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Okay, you all can be seated. Then we turn to page 3 of the chanting book. We shall chant the Padipa Puja onward. Ganna sarapatitena tipena tamadansina tilokang dipang samputang pujayami tamonudang Danda sambarayutena Dumpena hang sugandhina Pujaye pujaniyantang Puja bhajana muttamang Panna ganda guno petang Etang kusuma santatin Pujayami munindasa Siri pada sarorohe Pujemi bedang kesumena nena Unnena metena ca hotu mokang Umpang milayati yata idang me Kayo tata yati vinasa bawang Adivase tuno bante Pariyam parikapitang Anukampang upadaya Patikan hatu mutamang Adivase tuno bante Pale parikapitang Anukampang upadaya Patikan hatu mutamang Adivase tuno bante Bojanang parikapitang Anukampang upadaya Pantikan hatu mutamang. Now we shall chant the puja aspiration based on our understanding of the significance of all these puja offerings. Significance of offering of light. May this offering of light to the Buddha brings forth the causes and conditions to be mind and help arise the needed clarity and understanding to dispel all darkness or ignorance therein. Significance of offering of water. May this offering of pure, clear, cool water lead us to the pure, clear Dharma that cools and doses off the fires of all defilements within our mind. Significance of offering of incense. May our morality, virtue, and understanding shine forth far and wide, just like the fragrance of this incense, which we are offering to the Blessed One, who is perfect in wisdom and virtue. Significance of offering of fruits. May this offering of fruits remind us of the Dana Parami of generosity and the fruits of our karma, so that we will diligently strive on with faithfulness to attain the path and fruition as soon as possible. Significance of offering of flowers. May this constant offering of flowers to the Blessed One strengthen our faith and constantly remind us of the impermanence of this body, so that we will diligently and sincerely strive on to cultivate Sila, Samadhi, and Panya, leading to ultimate liberation, the born-free Nibbana. Making of overall aspiration. By the power of these merits, born of these offerings, may our spiritual faculties of Saddha, Virya, Sati, Samadhi, and Panya be further strengthened until they become balas or powers, sharing and transfer merits to all beings. May these merits be shared and transferred to all beings without exception, especially to those who have the condition and affinity to receive them. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, let's pay respect to Puja. Petang Pujemi. Dhammang Pujemi. Sanghang Pujemi. Okay, you all can be seated. Just relax body and mind, maintain some form of attention. Then, as usual, we will off the light so that we can have our half an hour awareness-based meditation. Awareness-based meditation is very useful and very important. It is to enable us to develop our inner awareness, the stability of it, so that we can realize the true mind, the silent mind, or our meditative mind. And this will enable us to develop wisdom, meditative understanding of who we are, what we are, and how we function as a human being. So the true understanding of awareness-based meditation is very important. When the inner awareness is being developed, we use it to observe silently our inner activity within the form and mind. And through this activity and observation, we come to realize a very profound truth, which is how we function as a human being. And what is this so-called living being or human being for our case? It's all about. Once you understand clearly who are we, what are we, then we will not be deluded by the appearance of these five aggregates of form and mind. We will come to know their universal characteristics very clearly, then we will not be deceived by it. And through this understanding, we develop wisdom to liberate from it. Then we make use of it to understand life, to live life. Then to allow it to manifest the way it's supposed to manifest. So understanding who we are, what we are, and how we function as a human being is self-knowledge, and that is very important, so that we can break free from that sakkayaditthi or self-delusion that the Buddha has tried to teach us all this while. And ability to break free from this can only happen when we develop the inner awareness, to silently observe, to develop the ability to see things as they are, to have that silent mind, to insight into phenomena, to realize their characteristics of nature, anicca, dukkha, and anatta nature. So remember the four support. Relax. First support. Relax into every mind state that arises. Then second support is maintain awareness, or maintain your ability to be aware. It's just attentively aware. Whatever happens when the sixth sense door develops the movement, we only need to maintain awareness. Whatever contact that arises within our sense bases, upon contact, whether it's an external sense object, the consciousness, or the sense basis, these three, when they come together, it will trigger a natural occurrence, like the physics experiment. Naturally, it will manifest. So upon contact, like the physics experiment, the light bulbs will light up. So the lighting up is what we call consciousness. We become conscious. So it's not a being that becomes conscious. It's a natural process of manifestation of that consciousness. So all the six sense bases, they can manifest their respective sense of consciousness, like seeing consciousness, hearing consciousness, smell, taste, tactile, and thought process. So when we are able to develop the inner awareness with the stability to observe, then we start to understand what is going on and how we function through our senses, how the external sense data come in, and together with the consciousness upon contact with the respective sense pieces, then what happens? See it clearly, aware, finish. It can be the seeing consciousness, like the Buddha said. In the seeing, there's only that consciousness, the seeing consciousness, no one to see. Similarly, for the other sense door, hearing, smell, taste, tactile, and thought process, there is no one behind. There is no permanent unchanging entity that is responsible for that manifestation of those consciousness. They come and they go. They are all dependent, originating, condition arising, causal phenomena. When you are aware, you can witness them, you can see them, you can allow it to manifest. Then through all this silent observation and manifestation, you develop the clear understanding that they are all impersonal processes. There is no other behind. Because everything is just dependent, originating, or condition arising, causal phenomena. He know you, he know me. So understand all this, observe and realize it and awaken to it. Then your ability to comprehend the teaching become different. Then when you continue to relax, maintain awareness, and stabilize that awareness nature within, there is a third support. You become different. Through that, you can see things as they are. You can realize the truth. You can awaken to the universal characteristic. So ability to insight into phenomena, everything that arises within the form and mind, is wisdom. So this is what you need to know. Okay, now I will let you meditate on your own. I will set the alarm for 30 minutes. And after that, you can continue with your awareness-based training. The last support is trust. You only do the last support when you have developed the ability to stabilize the inner awareness. And after that, you stay at the heart area. Just let the awareness nature detect whatever that is going on within your heart area. Whether there is any vibration or the heartbeat. When you are able to detect it, stay there, be with it. Then allow it to relax into it, maintain awareness, and just let things be. When you do that, everything that the mundane mind has created, they will start to slow down, slow down, slow down. So do develop the ability to witness the slowing down of the thinking mind, the mundane mind. Whatever aggregate, the aggregate of feeling, aware, finish. The aggregate of perception, aware, finish. The aggregate of thought, emotion, whatever reaction of mind, aware, finish. The aggregate of consciousness, arise, pass away, aware, finish. So don't allow it to continue to create more thought process, more thinking, more sankhara sanya. Just aware. The moment you are aware, no need to know anything, no need to do anything, just aware. And let that nature inside there stabilize. This is how you will progress very fast. So just develop it Okay, so now I will set the alarm and you can continue with the awareness-based meditation, the training of it to be aware. You all can now slowly, mindfully come out of the meditation. Try to maintain whatever inner calmness, inner mindfulness, and inner awareness that you have developed for as long as you can. Stabilize this mind state so that throughout the day, while you are awake, these are the mind states that stay with you. So ability to be aware, to be attentive, is the meditative mind. And these are spiritual faculties, sati, mindfulness, awareness. This is a spiritual faculty. And it's the most important spiritual faculty. So because it's just aware without thought, the mind is tranquil, still. And this is what the true mind is all about. From there, the movement of thought, they arise very fast. But most cultivators of the way, because they don't do awareness-based meditation, they don't have this ability to be in the state of awareness to see how the mundane mind manifests from the awareness nature. It's from there all things arise. All activity of mind, we call it the mundane mind, the mundane thinking, the mundane arising, even your verbalization, your mental chattering, your thinking, thought process, everything. They manifest from that nature. Okay, now we will continue with our invocation to the Devas. So turn to page 6 of the chanting book. We will chant the invocation to the Devas. Invocation to the Devas. In this universe, in their entirety, let the deities or Devas come here. Let them hear the good teachings of the King of Sages, which gives heaven and release, Nibbana. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. Samanta Chakawalesu Atra Gachantu Devata Saddhammang Muni Rajasa Sunantu Sakemokadang Dhamma Svanan Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhamma Svanan Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhamma Svanan Kalo Ayang Badanta Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Iti Piso Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho Ija Charana Sampanno Sukhato Lokavidu Anuttaro Purisa Dhammasarati Satta Deva Manusanang Buddho Bhagavati Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Santiti ติโกakā liko ehipasiko opanayiko pajatang veditabo vinohiti supatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Ujupatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Nyayapatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Samicipatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Yadidang cattari purisa yukani atta purisa pugala esa bhagavato sāvaka sangho ahuneyo pahuneyo dakineyo anjali karaniyo Anuttarang punyam ketang dokasati sadhu sadhu sadhu. Okay, you all can be seated, and we shall continue from where we stop. We are at page 490 of this book. The wonderful Dhamma Lotus Flower Sutra, 妙法蓮華經. We are using the commentaries of Hsuan. We are at volume 3, chapter 2, Expedient Devices, page 490. Okay, we shall continue with the sutta. Now I, too, am like them. So this is referring to Sakyamuni Buddha. It's like all the previous Samasa Buddha, using various Dhamma doors. Sakyamuni proclaimed the Buddha way to bring peace and comfort to living beings. Then Sakyamuni said, I use the power of my wisdom to know the nature of beings' desire. So this one is a very important quality. Yeah? All Samasa Buddha, they have this, the power of wisdom. After they have developed the perfection of it, they will have the ability to know the nature of living beings' desire. Then he continues, I speak all Dhammas expediently, which is very true. These so-called expedient devices or skillful means are very important to lead them all to happiness. Then Sakyamuni told Sariputta, he says, Sariputta, you should know, as I regard them with my Buddha eye, I see living beings in the sixth path, means the 31 plane of existence. In Mahayana, they call it the sixth path, Liu Dao Lun Hui, the sixth path of birth and death. So what they do is they define the first five paths similar to the 31 plane of existence. We have the human rhyme as one of the paths. Then we have the four woeful state. So the first of the four woeful state is the demon rhyme. Then we have the what we call the hungry ghost rhyme, followed by the animal rhyme. And after that, we also have the hell rhyme. So these are the five so-called rhymes of birth and death. Then there is one more path which they call it the Tian Fa Jie, or the heavenly rhyme. So that one will cover the rest of the Deva rhymes Brahma rhyme and the formless rhyme. So we have the 6 Deva rhymes plus the 16 Deva rhyme. So total 20. Then we have the 4 formless rhyme. So 24. So all this, they form one rhyme. Plus the 5 below, they have the 6 path of birth and death. So he said, I see living beings in the 6 path, 六道轮回. Impoverished. These are very powerful understanding. Impoverished means they are really full of what they call suffering or lack nourishment. Means like lack of a lot of things, impoverished. Lacking blessings and wisdom, which are cultivations, blessings and wisdom. Entering the dangerous path of birth and death. See, the way they describe it is very good. Where they suffer unremittingly. This one is especially true for hell beings. Even the human beings, the living beings. Most of them suffer. They are deeply attached to the 5 desire, means the senses. Like a yak caring for their tails, its tail. They smother themselves with greed and love. Blind and in darkness, seeing nothing. Means totally ignorant, deluded. They do not seek the mighty Buddha or the Dhamma, which cuts off all suffering, but instead they deeply enter into deviant ways or deviant views. With suffering, they wish to cast off suffering for the sake of these living beings. I give rise to the great compassionate heart. So that's how Sakyamuni Buddha expressed it. So the outline of this sutta is, first there is Sakyamuni, then general review of dispensing the provisional teaching to reveal the true final teaching or actual teaching. Then revealing the actual, dispensing with the provisional. Then the next one is an extensive reiteration of the 6 points. Then finally the 5 stability as reason for the provisional teaching. Okay, now we go to the commentaries. So the sutta said, now I too am like them, means now at present I, Sakyamuni Buddha, am also thus like the other Sammasambuddha. Means he is like the Buddha of the past, present, and future, using various Dhamma doors. He proclaimed the Buddha way to bring peace and comfort to living beings. Means he led all living beings to gain security and happiness. We are using all the various Dhamma doors to proclaim the teaching. Then the sutta continues. It says, I use the power of my wisdom, means the Buddha's true real wisdom, to know the nature of living beings' desire. So all living beings have their own particular natural desires. The things they are fond of means they are craving, their attachment, their clinging, their grasping. All the things that they deludedly cling onto, hold on to, grasp onto, and believe they are real, they exist. Then Sakyamuni continues, say, I understand them all very vividly or clearly. Then the sutta continues. It says, I speak all Dhammas expediently, means using various skillful means or expedient devices. Because I understand all living beings, I use expedient Dhamma to teach and transform living beings, teaching them all the Dhammas. Dhammas means truth, teachings of the Buddha. To lead them all to happiness means Sakyamuni lead all living beings to be filled with true bliss of Dhamma. To receive the Dhamma's moisture, as the water moistens things, I moisten living beings with the Dhamma, to cause them to be filled with joy. Then the sutta continues. Sariputta, you should know, as I regard them with the Buddha eye, with my Buddha eye, I see living beings of the sixth path, means the sixth path or 31 plane of birth and death, impoverished, lacking blessings and wisdom, means they are confused and deluded. They do not know how to wake up. This is because they have no wisdom and no blessed retribution. Why not? It is because they are too poor. That's why impoverished. This is the poverty that results from not understanding the Buddha Dhamma. They are truly pitiful, truly poor. If they have blessings and wisdom, they would not be poor. But because they have neither, that's why they are poor. What is true wealth? Understanding the Buddha Dhamma is true wealth. So this is a very important understanding. Not all the materialistic wealth. That one is not true wealth. That one cannot free you from suffering. That one cannot give you understanding. That one can still bring about suffering. Yeah. So all these are very clear pointer towards true wealth. True wealth means the real gem. The Buddha called it the triple gem. It's only within the triple gem, the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha, that you can find this teaching. That's why it's called the gem, the most precious among the precious stone. Okay, we go back to the sharing. So understanding what is true wealth is very important. Huh? Understanding the Buddha Dhamma is true wealth. So what is poverty? Poverty means not understanding the Buddha's teaching. Poverty and wealth depend on whether or not you have the blessing and wisdom. If you have blessings and wisdom, you are wealthy. If you do not, you are poor. So we have gone through before. Right? All of your blessings are actually your virtues, your goodness, your kindness, your humility, your various type of virtue that give rise to all this wholesomeness, paramita. So if you have blessings, means you will have wisdom. Where blessings and wisdom, they go hand in hand. Where without virtue, there is no true wisdom. Unless one develop virtue, then wisdom will rise. And because of that, true blessing will rise. So when you have blessing and wisdom, you are wealthy, means spiritually, spiritual wealth. If you do not, you are poor. Then Sakyamuni continue. Hsuan continue to elaborate through his commentaries. Hsuan asks, where do blessings and wisdom come from? They come through cultivation of the way, the Buddha Dhamma. So this is a very important understanding. Only cultivators of the way can develop blessings and wisdom. If you do not cultivate the Dhamma, following the Buddha's teaching, then there is no way you can develop blessing and wisdom. So cultivation means understanding the teaching and putting it into practice. So theoretical Dhamma is of not much use. So the first phase of Dhamma is always, they call pariyati, the development of the understanding of the teaching. Then when you put it into practice, it becomes pati. So this is the second phase of Dhamma. Then after you have developed the cultivation and the practice, then you develop the awakening, the realization. And then the third phase of Dhamma becomes different. So from pariyati, the learning of the teaching, you develop the cultivation, which they call pati. Then after that, phase 3 is pativeda, the cultivator of the way that has awakened, got to live with understanding, the third phase of Dhamma. The third phase of Dhamma is to have the causes and conditions to realize this truth or these teachings of the Buddha, to enable them to develop the enlightenment in the here and the now, to live the life of a noble ones or the Arya enlightened one. So these are the three phases of Dhamma. So out of the three phases, you will come to realize phase 1 and 2 both are important, but phase 2, putting it into practice, the cultivation of it is the most important. The learning of the teaching is through the first and second turning, is listening, constantly listening to the Dhamma. So that constant listening to the discourse of the Buddha or the teachings as taught by the Buddha, that one will give rise to Suttamaya Panya, the first turning wisdom. Then after that, you continue with the second turning. You will develop the inquiry through constant contemplation and reflection on the discourse or the teaching as taught by the Buddha. When you do this constantly until it becomes very, very clear, which means you start to reflect and contemplate on what you have heard. Then you start to develop the stability of understanding to assimilate it into your nature. So this second turning can lead to a type of wisdom the Buddha called Chintamaya Panya, which is the second turning wisdom. Then after that, when you really develop the awareness-based meditation, you will develop the third turning wisdom called Bhavana Maya Panya. Means Panya or wisdom born of Bhavana. Bhavana is the meditative training, the meditative discipline. So Bhavana Maya Panya is very penetrative. This one is very potent. It gives rise to a wisdom that is very, very penetrative and awakening. And so this is how the Buddha Dhamma is to be developed. The three phases of Dhamma. Okay, we go back to the sharing. So where do blessings and wisdom come from? They come through cultivation of the way. So the three phases of Dhamma I already explained. Therefore, the living beings of the sixth path is the sixth path leading to birth and death. They are poor because they have no blessing and no wisdom. Therefore, they enter the dangerous path of birth and death. Means they enter that risky, evil road of birth and death. The road of birth and death is extremely dangerous, it is said. You remember in the early days, I used to share with you all, if you have to come you better come with the understanding of the teaching, the Buddha Dhamma. Otherwise, you might as well don't come. Otherwise, you come to suffer and become miserable for one. But not everyone have a choice. Unless you take the Bodhisattva way, then you can choose to come with the understanding. Otherwise, you have no choice. You have to come through karma. The karmic process will take you repeated birth and death. That's why repeated birth and death is continuous suffering, unending suffering, misery, affliction. So during the Dhamma ending ages, where Buddha Dhamma cannot be actually heard of or even received, not to say receive, you can't even hear of it. What is the probability of a living being having the understanding of this teaching and able to liberate the mind and free and develop the wisdom to live life, to understand life, and to develop what we call the wonderful aspect of existence. Unless you understand life, you cannot live life. And to understand life, you need to understand the Buddha's teaching, the Buddha Dhamma. That's why they are interrelated. So without the Dhamma understanding, ignorance will prevail. Sakkayaditthi will be the dominant factor within the living beings, what they call existential life activity. And because of Sakkayaditthi, conditioned by ignorance, avijja, living being continuously experience suffering, birth and death, continuous what they call evolution through birth and death. And this can be very long. That's why they call it samsara. Samsara, the world of birth and death. So this existential world of birth and death leads to eternal suffering. In a way, they say existence is eternal suffering where you don't have Dhamma. The only way to free from existence is to develop the understanding of this teaching, the Buddha Dhamma. That's why this teaching is very unique, very beautiful, and it is by far the most supreme of all teachings. Unless you have this understanding, it's not easy for one to develop the understanding of life, the understanding of who we are, what we are, and how we function as a living being, and how can we develop the totality of understanding of what existence is. So all this is what you need to develop as understanding. Okay, we go back. So according to Hsuan, he said, the road of birth and death is extremely dangerous because it is said, having lost this human body in 10,000 aeons, it is hard to get back another. So from this particular stanza, you will know how full of suffering and affliction birth and death can lead to. This sentence is very important because according to those who understand, once you have lost this human form, means to be born as a human being, manusa, chances is you can be lost for 10,000 aeons because it is as hard as that to get another human body to have another attempt at liberation or enlightenment. Because the other four willful state, there is hardly any chance where you can cultivate the Buddha Dhamma. Because those are the rhyme where you completely don't have the condition to actually develop the understanding. And most of it is karmic retribution, payback time. That's why karmic affliction, suffering, misery, especially the hell rhyme, even the hungry ghost rhyme, the demon rhyme, and also the animal rhymes. Most of these rhymes you can't really cultivate. There is hardly any causes and condition for cultivation to arise. Then even in the human rhyme, the sasana window is so short relative to existence. Existence can be very long, eons and eons and eons and eons. But the window for one sasana, even the arising of Sakyamuni Buddha, the sasana is only supposed to be 5,000 years initially. And 5,000 years compared to eons is nothing. That's why for us, cultivators of the way who are born during this era, during this sasana, we should actually count our great blessing. That's why I said, for you to have this condition, to be born as a human being, during the Buddha sasana, to encounter the true Dhamma, is not by chance. It's indeed a very, very rare occurrence. That's why do not miss this window. I call it the golden window. The moment you miss it, it's going to be a long, long wait, a long, long haul. So again, this is another condition for you to develop what they call the affirmation, the determination to have this understanding cultivated and developed life after life. As I planting the seed of Wohi to aspire to go this way, the Bodhisattva way, leading to Sammasambuddhahood is very important. And it is during this sasana period that you have all of the great conditions for you to do it. Okay, then we continue with the commentaries. Cannot say, we are people at present, but do not think it is easy to be a human being. Did I not tell you earlier that when Sakyamuni Buddha was in the world, he once picked up a handful of dirt and asked, is there more dirt on earth or more dirt in my hand? The disciple all replied, there is more dirt on the earth than in the Buddha's hand. The Buddha then said, those who obtain a human birth are like the dirt in my hand. Those who lose a human body are like the dirt on the planet. So it's extremely dangerous to enter the risky road of birth and death. So this is the sutta way of reminding living beings not to be heedless, not to be deluded, not to take all this for granted. Because causes and conditions, they do appear, but very rare, very rare. Then the sutta continues. This road to birth and death, where they suffer unremittingly, means unendingly, means their suffering continues from one life to the next. They may be a human being in their present life, but there is no guarantee that they will be one in their next life. Their suffering is continuous and uninterrupted. That's why unremittent. The cause of suffering the result of suffering, the retribution of suffering, is simply like never end. That's why karmic retribution, you must not underestimate. If you are heedless for so long, eons and eons, the payback time can be equally long. Okay, move it up. They are deeply attached to the five desires. So the meaning is explained by Hsuan. Why is it that they are not able to end their suffering? It's because they are deeply enmeshed in the five desires. The desire of the form, the desire of the sound, means all of the beautiful vibration, smell, taste, and tactile object, also called the five dusts. The five desires of the world means through our five basic senses, we develop the craving, the desire for beautiful form, beautiful music, beautiful vibration, means those smells that are favorable, very nice, and food that are tasty, fragrant, nice, then nice tactile feeling. So all this, when you grasp and cling to it without the Dhamma understanding, without wisdom, then suffering will follow you, because this universe, existential world of ours, is dependent originating, condition arising, cause of phenomenon. It exhibits the universal characteristics of impermanent change. Whatever state you are in, from pleasant, it will become unpleasant. Sooner or later. Then later on, it will change again. That's why, because of that, when you cannot get what you want, you suffer. That's why nothing can be clung onto. That is the advice of cultivator of the way. Even Ajahn Buddhadas, he actually pointed that out. He said nothing should be clung onto. Whatever you grasp, cling, and hold on to will lead to suffering. Because according to the five daily contemplation, it's very clear, the fourth daily contemplation, separation is a reality. Because they are dependent originating, condition arising entity, not a permanent unchanging entity. That's why it cannot be owned, cannot be grasped, cannot be clinged onto. It's not real. It's not what you think. It's not a permanent unchanging entity that you can grasp onto, cling onto, hold onto, and say, this is me. This is I. Therefore, all this can be mine. There is no such thing. Then the other sense desire is from our brain, our thought process, our views, opinion, our desire, our craving, our fantasy, our ideology, belief system. And all this can lead to suffering because of delusion. Okay, we will read on that. Then like a yet caring for its tail. The yet is a kind of ox that places great importance on its tail. That it thinks its tail is so important, it always watch out for it. As a result, since it thinks its tail is so important, people are always after it. Thus, out of its own great desire to protect its tail, it ends up losing it, losing its very life. Then the sutta continues, they smother themselves with greed and love. Smothering themselves means they die like a yet. Then blind and in darkness, seeing nothing, meaning they are as if blind and in total ignorance of delusion, darkness. So of course, when they are so deluded, they cannot understand, they cannot see. They do not seek the mighty Buddha, means they do not seek the teaching. They have no wisdom, and they do not seek a teacher who can teach them or who understand. Therefore, those without wisdom are as if blind. So what happens is the blind leading the blind. You end up where? You ask yourself. So when you seek, you make sure you seek the right teacher. If you have no teacher, you are in the dark. You cannot see anything at all. Not seeing the light means that you have no wisdom. The Buddha has great power and can rescue all living beings. Then the Sutta says, all the Dhamma which cuts off suffering. Means they do not seek instruction from the Buddha in the methods of cultivation or how to actually free and liberate their mind from suffering. But instead they deeply enter into deviant views. Because they do not seek wisdom, they are like blind men, wandering in deviant ways. Yeah. So this is the danger. People are very strange, Shenhua said. If you teach them the proper Dhamma, you can teach until you are blue in the face. But they will not understand it. On the other hand, if you teach them the deviant Dhamma, they will catch on it after just one lesson. Would you not say this is very strange? Actually, there is a lot of saying in the dialect. They say, 学好很久啊，3年了，学坏3天了。学坏多久？3天了。Oh. Then I think Yun Chan Cantonese is very good. Last time she always say that thing to me on. 仲未大又先學壞。The Cantonese saying, before you grow up, you learn all the foul language first. Yun Chan, Oh, I say, not you say. I thought your Cantonese is very good. You told me the right version. I pass the mic to Yun Chan. 仲未大就先學壞。In Cantonese, my pronunciation not so accurate. Yeah, like you use your
仲未大就先學壞啊。
Oh, so that one. I learned from you.
You learn from yours.
I learned the Cantonese from you. My Cantonese is lousy. I come from Alostar, Hokkien. That's why I don't know. But I saw the Hong Kong show. The Hong Kong show, they actually mentioned it.
Your Cantonese is quite good already.
After I came to KL. Before that, so there is a lot of saying. They say to learn what they call the deviant way. It's very easy. To learn to be good is very difficult. That's why Krishnamurti very smart. He said, don't try to be good. When you try to be good, you can never be good. The thought that is trying is egoic. How can it be good? So to go the healer's way is very easy. Do you agree? It's like no need to cultivate, no need to do anything. Understand? Go and they call it your desire, your craving. Continue to fulfill that. Means living being very strange. They like to go after those things that they desire, they crave for, they like. It's just like when we are young. Because when we grow up, we are given a lot of what? Toy. Maybe in the olden day don't have. My time, hardly any toy. But second generation kid, wow, they really pamper their children. provide them with the best, all the toy, everything. Then when you come to education, you force them to study this, study that. Actually, they don't like. And most of the kids don't like. But because of peer pressure, because of the way the upbringing is, they want to actually develop the child in such a way so that they can be proud of their child. So it's more of the parents' craving or desire to want the child to be such and such and such. They believe by teaching them a lot of knowledge, they can become successful. So that is the funny part of human being too. So the kids sometimes they are being pressured or forced to learn a lot of things. Like not only study, you have to attend ballet class, piano class, then maybe do a lot of all those things that are very popularly accepted by society. So they call it the kiasu attitude. So you don't want to lag behind. You want to develop all this so that you can be proud of your children's success and maybe how smart they are and how clever they are. But I don't use the word wisdom or how wise they are. All this lead to actually thought-based or knowledge-based type of learning. So when it comes to cultivating the Dhamma, also same. Most people will complain, isn't it? You have met so many cultivators all the way. What is the first impression? They say not easy, the Dhamma. To learn, to understand it is really so difficult. To put it into practice is even more difficult. But do you think that is the norm or the correct understanding?
No.
Definitely no, isn't it? Why? Because only people who are deluded, who are like heedless, they don't have the determination. For those who have seen enough of life existence in the world, who have gone through a lot of life experiences or what we call suffering, they will like suddenly wake up and develop the what they call tenacity, the strong tenacity to seek truth, to actually learn the Buddha Dharma, the teaching. And the problem with our society is there are so many types of teachings and religion. So which one is the true one? Which one is the one that can really help living beings to understand life, to liberate themselves from suffering and misery, to understand clearly what birth and death is? In fact, those type of teachings are very rare. Very, very rare. That's why to be a born a Buddhist is a blessing indeed. But a lot of people don't understand that. After being a Buddhist, they find that Buddhism is nothing. Maybe they believe what people say, idol worshipper, and they change religion. Then they believe they can be more happy. But if you really look at it, if that religion that they seek doesn't give them the true understanding, then it's like what? It's like having been given the gem, you threw it away, understand? And you go and seek suffering or something else that maybe through your own lack of wisdom and understanding, develop the keenness to believe in. Because that way is simple, understand? Easy. No need to do anything. You can commit all the evil, then last minute believe all sins are forgiven. That they are promised after death eternal heaven. Because believer and non-believer, they only got two. So, if you are a believer, you are destined for eternal heaven. Is it so simple? Yeah? You made all believer automatic. You only need to believe. If like that, no need to cultivate it. That's why those type of teachings or religion, I think they tend to have the tendency to appeal more to most living beings. But the one that need to develop what they call the determination, the all-out affirmation to cultivate sincerely, that take time. That one is normally not preferred. But when it comes to real cultivation, I have this advice. Develop the understanding, and then the cultivation becomes very easy. If you don't develop the understanding, you can debate and become miserable. And the cultivation can actually lead you to something else. Yeah. Because even the so-called Buddhists, not all Buddhists can understand the teachings. And most of them actually end up developing thought-based cultivation that leads to actually deviation from the true teaching. The true teaching of the Buddha is about mindfulness, awareness, sati. Without sati, you are as if dead, because the Buddha make it very clear. Heedlessness is the path to the dead. The heedless are as if dead. So sati is very important. Sati leading to stability. Then you combine it with cultivation of the Buddha Dhamma as taught by the Buddha. Then it becomes apamada, heedfulness. That's why heedfulness is defined by the Buddha under Dhammapada verse 23. The ever mindful, constantly meditative, and steadfast one. They will realize the supreme born-free Nibbana. So for those who hold on to these two practices, ever mindful, constantly meditative, means develop the ability to be mindful, to be aware, so that you can be ever mindful. Then use it to cultivate the Noble Eightfold Path as taught by the Buddha. Well, that is the fourth noble truth. You cultivate this Noble Eightfold Path, which is the meditation as taught by the Buddha. It will lead to the end of all suffering. So all these are very clear. That's why do not rush into the cultivation. Develop the understanding of it and stabilize the mindfulness leading to heedfulness. The moment you are heedful, you are home. Then why do you waste time on other things? All the various so-called method techniques, belief system, etc. Not to say that they don't benefit people. They do benefit people. But that is not the real teaching. The real teaching, you have to develop the clear understanding. Because methods and technique, like I always explain, these are series of instructions to do things. It has nothing to do with the meditation as taught by the Buddha. Because whatever you do in the name of meditation as taught by the Buddha, if it does not lead you back to the cultivation of the Noble Eightfold Path, then that is not the teachings of the Buddha. And what is the Noble Eightfold Path? The Noble Eightfold Path is the embodiment of enlightenment. The quality of an enlightened being, they will have the embodiments of the Noble Eightfold Path. Means the moment you have awakened, you will have right view, leading to right thought, right speech, right action, and right livelihood. Then the constant cultivation of the four right effort is always there. Then you will have continuous mindfulness, stability of mindfulness. then finally leading to samadhi. Samadhi is collectedness of mind, the unwavering mind. That's why with the Noble Eightfold Path in place, you are incapable of evil. Well, what is Noble Eightfold Path? It's the cultivation. Sila, Samadhi, and Panya. All the path factors are there. The path factor of Panya is right view, the first path factor. Then the path factor of what they call Samadhi is Samasati and Samadhi. Then the other one is all the what they call Sila aspect. Right thought, right speech, right action, and right living or right lifestyle. Then even the four right effort is still part of the Sila or thought-based cultivation. So all this, when you look at the teaching, you will develop the clear understanding. That's why it is very important. Okay, we go back to the sutta. I think I had to end already. Okay. People are very strange. You teach them the proper Dhamma, you can teach them until you are blue in the face, but they will not understand it. On the other hand, if you teach them a deviant Dhamma, they will catch up after just one lesson. Would you not say this is strange? If it is the proper Dhamma, you can try to teach them once, twice, 3 times, and they find it so difficult to remember. If you teach them ethical occult Dhamma, psychic one, they remember them very fast. People believe the deviant Dhamma. They may believe the proper Dhamma for a moment, but they soon lose faith in it. After a while, as soon as your back is turned, they no longer believe. So they deeply entered into deviant views. Why is it so hard for people to learn the proper Dhamma and so easy for them to learn the deviant ways? It is because life after life they have been deeply enmeshed in deviant views. This is true. The deviant views are our old friend, as familiar as our own blood relative. So it is easy to learn them. We have forgotten the proper Dhamma. Although we study, it is hard for us to remember it. We've learned it once and then forget it. Learn it again and forget it again. Why do we forget it? It is because we have become separated from it by too great a distance. We have grown further and further away from it and soon forget it altogether. If you look at the 4 circles I teach you, you will understand it. From the first circle, our Buddha nature, the source, you come out. The first thing to come out is the pure awareness. Then after the pure awareness, what happens? The mundane mind create the endless birth and death. Then every birth and death you come, the phenomenal world of consciousness is there to delude you, to entice you and condition your suffering and misery. So what happened is you lost yourself, not knowing who are you, what are you. That's why you cannot return to that pure awareness nature, which was originally you before the mundane mind manifests. So that is the main reason. Okay, go back. We have to end already. Maybe I mark that page. Okay, we mark that page. We are at page 495. Okay, so I think we will have 3 minutes of toilet break. We come back 9:57 to continue our second session. Okay, we will continue our second session. So those online, we have Sister Eng Bee, Manyan, PG, and Pocheng. Those who are here physical class, quite a number. We have Alicia, Han, Elsie, Jin Hao, Freddy, Yun Cha, Jupolian, and my wife. So Anybody wants to come in, just either put up your hand or on your mic, then you can come in. You can either report your meditation or ask any question or develop whatever sharing you want regarding what we have discussed today.
Good evening, Brother Tew,
good evening.
Mrs. Tew, and
yeah.
all Kalamitas. Actually, 大家很礼让，每次都给我这个机会，我也很感恩。Brother Tew, actually 在之前我很想给你一个感恩的信，但是太忙了，没有时间坐下来写。就是其实在这里就借这个机会跟大家讲，感恩 Brother Tew 这10年以来教我们的一切的佛法，他就是给我的 reflection on 就是这个跟妙法莲华经里面的开权显实是一样的，就是当下 Brother Tew 教我们那个 five aggregates of form and mind two aspect，就是把我们 prepare 成现在所有的Dharma。
对，
所以我感到很多的法喜，因为当 Brother Tew 讲那个妙法莲华经100的时候，我听了，我真的很感动，因为我真正的明白 Brother Tew 所用的苦心，在这个 emphasize on 这个 five aggregate 的重要。因为 to 这个understand 这个 five aggregates 我可以明白到心经里面所讲的一切，所以我很感恩 Brother Tew，因为真的很多的法喜，很感动，流泪 Brother Tew，我真的很感动。因为真正的明白到所谓的这个人生是怎样的去 function，怎样的去怎么样 carry on 我们的 daily， 怎样go into heedless life， 怎样所有的 manifestation throughout the entire life，我开始的明白，也听到自己所谓的一切的一切，因为有些时候还是抓不了，有些时候还是会所以我真的是很多的感恩。还有接下来就是就是 Brother Tew 刚才讲，在这个经里面讲，他的那个危险性 about 这个 heedless life。因为在地藏经里面讲得很清楚，那些苦是无间断，他讲无间苦，没有间断的，这里受了又在受，受，又在转了又在受，受到你等到你的业还完，你才能够。或者是转一个是在做另外一个，所以在地藏经讲到，我看了起初看，我觉得哇，好恐怖，就升起一种就是发心，不要再就是造这些业。所以这个给我的启发是后来我知道，因为地藏王菩萨是非常的慈悲，他是。就是说，他渡人向善，不要堕恶，因为堕恶真的是很恐怖。所以这一切的所谓的最近所听 Brother Tew 的法，比我听 Brother Tew 的法，或者我听其他的所谓的师父大德高僧的开始，都离不开这个空性。空性自性怎么样的从。那个自信的去理解这个所谓的空性啊、无常啊、苦啊，就是来来去去、转来转去，我发觉到都是这几个 subject。所以我特别的感恩的是，因为我在 Brother Tew 这里学到的所谓的那个所谓的 two aspect，所以能够给我知道，我一听他们的法，我就知道哦，原来来来去去我们所要学的。都逃不了这几样东西，就是 Brother Tew 每天讲，然后 coming back to 那个巴瓦那那个班呀，就是 当我们如果没有在我们的 meditation 里面看到那个 manifestation of 我们的，就是本来就讲的那个 four circle，我们不能够很 penetrate 的 understand the whole thing，因为处那个文字般若，虽然文字也是可以给你般若，但是没有本来就讲的所谓的 so penetrating，所以我开始慢慢的进入。这一切的 understanding 也慢慢的知道理解到，不然就所谓的苦心，怎么样的？为什么他一直要就说不然就一直要给我们 understand two aspect， 讲了又讲，讲了又讲 ，make sure 我们 understand， 但是真的这个是非常重要，它是一个就是权益开权嘛，开始就是用权益来 expedient devices 来让我们理解，然后慢慢的 lead 我们 through another aspect of the Dharma。所以 Brad 尤其是你讲的那个在Sutta 妙法莲华经100里面讲的那个。所谓的那个6根6尘跟6识，我听了我真的是很感动，很感动。所以我在这里感恩 Brother Teo， 也感恩所有的凯拉米达的分享，就是让我学习到很多，也让我慢慢的进入所谓的真的是开始着去学习修行，还有就是怎么样说呢？太多的法在我的内心，我也很喜欢的跟别人分享，但是我知道这个只是一个因缘法，所以 Brad 就讲的任何的所谓的法也不能够去抓，因为这个只是一个过程。感恩 Brad Teo， 感恩大家，阿弥陀佛。
阿弥陀佛。Let us rejoice. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Because this is a very good summary by Sister Alicia after she has gone through. She actually was with me for the last about 10 years only. And I remember it started in the year around 2014. So 2013, I think. It's about 10 years all in. And she has actually learned so much and developed all the understanding. Then able to summarize why in the early days when I started the teaching, I put so much emphasis on the 5 aggregates of form and mind, the 2 aspects. If you look at the Heart Sutta, the first few stanzas is already the 5 aggregates of form and mind. Especially when Kuan Yin Bodhisattva was cultivating the perfection of wisdom, paramita, prajna paramita sutta, then he illuminated the 5 skandha and realized that they were empty. That's why she crossed over and all those things. So understanding these 5 aggregates of form and mind is very important. There is understanding who we are, what we are, and how we evolve until the manifestation of the so-called human being or living being with the 5 aggregates of form and mind. Then the 2 aspect is very important. The first aspect is as a living being, or for our case, human being. We have a physical body, then we have a consciousness trapped inside. So the 4 aggregates of mind, like the Buddha taught, is very simple. You only need to inquire, what can my mind do? Then the 4 aggregates of feeling, perception, mental activity or mental states, or anything that your mind can do, they will manifest, sankhara. Then finally, our mind can also make us conscious. Conscious of what we see, what we hear, what we smell, what we taste, what we tactily feel and think. And from here, you develop that understanding of these 5 aggregates. Then you check against the teaching. These 5 aggregates of form and mind, like the Buddha said, go the way of nature. It has the universal characteristics of impermanence. leading to suffering when you attach, cling, and grasp. And because it's impermanent, it's not a permanent, unchanging entity. That's why it's anatta, non-self. Then, because it is non-self, there is no reality, empty nature of existence. Then after that is the second aspect. The second aspect is as a thought within the paticca samuppada. That's why avijja paccaya sankhara, sankhara paccaya vijnana. Vijnana is pure consciousness before the content go in. The moment you input the content, then it becomes namarup or namarupa. That is the thought, the five aggregate of form in mind, the pure receptacle, which is the consciousness with its content. So the external form enters the mind through perception aggregate. That's why the four aggregates of mind plus the external sense data, the form, becomes the five aggregate. And that one is what the Buddha wants you to understand. The moment this namaru, five aggregate of form and mind, arise, then you are caught in the egoic mind, the manifestation of the five aggregates. And this is the one that created birth and death. This is the one that becomes a traveler in space and time. And this is the one that actually get entangled through delusion, mainly avijja, ignorance, sakkayaditthi. So all this become very clear. Then from there, the teaching slowly come out, the essential Dhamma, everything. Then from the essential Dhamma, once you develop the cultivation, finally I go back to awareness, sati, mindfulness. That's why the awareness nature, when you go deep into it, you will understand how the four circles come about. Without going into the awareness nature, awareness-based meditation, you can never penetrate, like what Alicia pointed out. The third turning all needs sati. Bhavana maya panya, all of bhavana, you need sati. That's why in the Avijja Sutta, you need to have Dhamma friends so that you can constantly listen to the Dhamma, the second step of the Avijja Sutta, or the enlightenment cycle. So having Dhamma friends, all of you have. Then having Dhamma session to constantly listen to Dhamma, all of you also have. Then the third step is after listening to all the Dhamma or the discourse of the Buddha, you develop the first and second turning wisdom that will lead you to develop the faith in the Buddha and his teaching. And that is step 3. Then step 4 is the manifestation of the first and second turning wisdom. That give rise to the initial wisdom, yoniso manasikara. Then after that, you become different. When you have yoniso manasikara at the moment of sense experience, then you have more and more moment of peace. Your mind does not stir and react to sense experience anymore. That's why sati sampajana, mindfulness and clear comprehension become very easy. Relatively easy. Then from there, you become enlightened. After that, they call it the sense restraint, step 6. After sense restraint, you will develop the 3 types of right conduct, right speech, right action, and right thought. So this is how you develop Sotapanaship and Sakadagami-ship. And then after that, step 8 is cultivation of the 4 foundation of mindfulness. That's why that step 8 leading to Anagami and beyond is what we call sati or mindfulness-based, awareness-based meditation. That's why that one is the third turning wisdom, bhavana, maya, panya. Very penetrative. And once you develop it correctly, then you will not go wrong. Yeah, the next step is step 9, which is the manifestation of the 7 factors of enlightenment. These 7 factors of enlightenment keep on arising. Means you know you are on the right path. You have not deviated. Otherwise, the factor of enlightenment will not arise. And what are the factors of enlightenment? Again, is sati. From sati, mindfulness, it enables you to develop Dhamma Vichaya, investigation of the Dhamma. And when you are able to investigate the Dhamma, it will give rise to the understanding that this teaching is so beautiful that it will drive you to cultivate seriously. That's why the third enlightenment factor is virya, spiritual zeal, tenacity. It drives you to cultivate. Yeah. Then you will experience through that cultivation the fourth enlightenment factor, which is piti. Then after you develop piti, of course, you can also go through sukhang, but that is not the enlightenment factor. But if you continue to relax into it and maintain awareness, then this sukhang will also be like no more, too gross. Then you develop tranquility of mind, the stillness of mind. We call it passaddhi, the true mind, the silent mind. And that is what awareness-based meditation is all about. When you have that passaddhi, that is actually your silent mind, your awareness nature. From that passaddhi, you stabilize it, it becomes samadhi. That's why the 7 factors of enlightenment, the 6th one is samadhi after passaddhi. Passaddhi is the 5th. Then once samadhi is there, you can see things as they are and awaken, develop the ability to silence your mind, to awaken to the universal characteristics of anicca, dukkha, and anatta. And it can also enable you to see things as they are, to develop the wisdom. So because of that wisdom that arises after passaddhi and samadhi, or sati and samadhi, will lead to the last factor of enlightenment, which is equanimity, upekkha. That upekkha, born of wisdom, is the one that enables you to live life, to be at peace under all circumstances, anywhere, anytime, any place, and under any circumstances. So that's how you see the cultivation. And of course, the last step is enlightenment in the here and now. So through this, you see very clearly. Finally, you need to develop step 8, which is cultivation of the 4 foundation of mindfulness, which is the accumulation of sati, cultivation, or what we call from the awareness-based meditation we develop it. But this is just for the sainthood way. For the bodhisattva way, you actually go beyond the 4 foundation of mindfulness. You silence your mind, develop the awareness nature until very stable. Then you let it detect the gateway. Then from the gateway, you go in. And that one is the bodhisattva way, leading to the supreme vehicle. So the initial sainthood way are based on expedient devices and all those teachings that I have shared with you. That's why for Sister Alicia to summarize all this and put it in such a beautiful expression of gratitude and all those things, it's so beautiful. And she has affinity with Earth-Store Bodhisattva, Tisangwang Puja. That's why when she read the Sutta of Earth-Store Bodhisattva that talk about suffering beings in hell, really, that suffering is exactly like the Lotus Sutra, 妙法蓮華經, the expression of it by Hsuan. The suffering, when you go this way, without the Buddha Dharma, is unremitted, means unending, continuous. Because, like Hsuan expressed it, to be born a human being is so rare. Even the Buddha also explain it very clearly. Then once you have a human body, you don't make use of the window and the condition and the opportunity, then what will happen? You may lose it. And it may take 10 eons or according to the commentaries, the sutta, before you can have another chance at another human form. And that is not exaggerated. It's really, really, when there is no sasana, it can really take very long. That's why I say this window is very beautiful. If you have them, you better make full use of it. Yeah. That's why the Bodhisattva vow, the yellow card, do it. Stabilize that mind that you have planted. The first stage of mind development, aspiring to go this way, taking the vow every day, is very important. Then follow the yellow card. All of the right view, right understanding, you vow. You invoke power of marriage to understand that life after life, whenever you choose to come or you have to come, you must have this right view, right understanding. And they are mainly about the 5 aggregates of form and mind, the essential Dhamma, Rupang Anicca, Pang Anatta, then all the other aggregates. Then after that, I also teach you how to break your karmic obstruction. All of the things clearly described there. Then after that, you also have to take the 3 sets of pure precepts of the Bodhisattva. Then, of course, the 4 basic vows. Then after that, you can add in your own miscellaneous vows or additional vows. Then strengthen all this through cultivation and understanding, so that this life, everything that you have developed as understanding, stabilize it, then determine strongly adhitan, then aspire deeply, sincerely, through faith, sincerity, and understanding. Then you persevere to have this understanding, life after life, whenever you choose to come or you have to come. Then your future coming is all taken care of. You don't have to worry anymore. So this is what you need to do as Kalyana. And hopefully by now the message is already very clear. Okay, so let us rejoice one more time. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Very good. Okay.
Yeah, I'm here, Brother.
Sadhu, sadhu. Yeah.
Thank you, Sis Alicia, for pick me up.
Yeah, sadhu.
What to share, huh? I don't know what to share, but
Never mind. Whatever that comes to your nature, you can just share it, because what Alicia shared was very good.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. After going through.
Sister Alicia.
Yeah.
For her, it's 10 years, Brother.
Yeah.
For me, 15 years only, I realized a little bit.
Very good. Sadhu, yeah.
Little bit,
Actually,
so
it's
little
already
bit.
very fast. Even 15 years already very fast. People don't know how many lives, and yet they don't meet one.
I count my blessing, and with a strong affinity with Brother Teo, at least I can follow Brother Teo's teaching for the past 15 years.
Yeah. And you did very well, because you can understand, and your faith is there, and you have the causes and conditions, which is beautiful.
In the recent Cameron retreats only, I really have a deeper understanding.
That retreat was beautiful.
Deeper understanding on the pure awareness.
Pure awareness part. The pure awareness was seldom elaborated on in the past. But this retreat, that's why I told you all, will be very different. the approach will be all very different, because a lot of Kayamita are ready and they have the condition to develop all this understanding. That's why the way the nature actually teach and manifest is different.
Yeah. And then it really, after you have telling us so many rounds and rounds and rounds, only when I managed to ask the question, then only it strikes me that the
then only the whole thing become clear. Yeah.
Yeah, especially the third link, the
The third link, the pure consciousness. At the moment of consciousness, it's just that consciousness, no being, nothing inside there. Like the Buddha said, in the seeing, only that seeing consciousness, no one to see, nothing, pure, before the content went in. But the moment the content go in, the whole thing become the five aggregate of form and mind. That's why even Jiwei, Brother Sia, he benefited so much. That whole retreat, he keep on thanking me. He said, but it is beautiful. He said the spacious awareness one, how it shrink into a thought, the five aggregate of form and mind, and make it egoic, limited, and all those things. So all this was so beautiful, and he related to his eye problem, his vision. He has such problem. They call it, don't know what, myopia, or don't know what, where he can see the peripheral clearly, he cannot see the center. So what happened was, he tried to focus in order to cognize or to perceive. So that focusing was so much pain and suffering, and then like make him don't like to travel and all those things. But then when he heard my sharing of the spacious awareness, which when we were originally that, the pure awareness nature, then it shrink and become a thought. Then he suddenly like awakened. Actually, no need to focus. That spacious awareness, the peripheral vision can enable him to see. So now he's full of joy. He can see, he can understand, and he got so much joy. He now want to travel again. As I recently, I think he very generous, treat us to one of the lunch, remember? Immediately after the retreat, you were there also. I think Brother Jim also there. A lot of Kaiminta were there. Then after that, this 16th of November, which is recently, he promised to hold another one for the wife, you remember? And the clan people that knows him but haven't met up with. Wow, that dinner was beautiful. Lunch was beautiful. We went to the same place. The food was very nice also. Then Peng told us, he saw Brother Siha, the husband, like completely transformed. So much joy and so much understanding. And when he was in not Xinjiang, he was in China with Brother Jin Hao. Jin Yao. Yeah, Jin Yao. He texted the wife, register me for the Xinjiang trip in China. He said with BGF one, where the wife last time registered, and he told the wife, I don't want to go, my eye condition. But now he said, register me. He said, now I can go. Because he saw how Kayamita actually took care of him. And also his eye condition now improved so much through the Dhamma understanding. That's why he get to live life, really live life now. And he is very joyful, very energetic, and his leg very strong. Jing Yap say, Brother Sia can walk faster than him. Climb Wu Yisan mountain, no problem. Whereas Jing Yap also have to struggle. So all these were beautiful understanding and happening. So
yeah, we rejoice with Brother Akong Jiwei because he has detached from his clinging on to focusing. He actually released himself from this
unnecessary suffering. Because that craving to see, to focus, to concentrate, is the one that caused him all the they call mental suffering without him knowing it. But when he saw the sharing of the spacious awareness, it's like suddenly he awakened. You can see the joy in his face. Then he was listening attentively for the 8 to 9 days, fully attentive. And he sat beside Sui and Jin Hao there. The recording very clear. Then he got this hearing aid, which is very clear one. All this helped him. That's why he said, despite the deterioration in the senses as he aged, he finds it so beautiful after he understands the teaching.
He is actually awakened to that moment.
At that moment he awakened. The awareness nature awakened him.
The experiential encounter. That's why it really makes us understand, right?
Yes.
Just like that day I was having this I was into the inner pure awareness nature.
Correct.
There I understand how the 4 circles that
how it manifests from there.
Then only I really understand.
When you are inside there, how the thought come out very fast. They are very near to each other. From that nature, it manifests very fast. Without mindfulness, you cannot see, you cannot go. You don't have the stability or awareness, you wouldn't know there's another nature behind. So all this, you need to go into that awareness-based meditation to stabilize it, then see it clearly manifesting. Very good, beautiful.
If all the time listening theoretically is not enough.
Not enough one.
Unless we have that causes and the condition, the
causes and
condition, then we can really see it, we can realize it, then only we can understand truly. Not really superficial theoretical.
Correct. That's why the penetrative turning, you need to be in the awareness nature so that it will manifest. Then you see it one. Then when you see it, it's like you wake up, you awaken to it. Wow, I like that one. That nature is so beautiful. Just like the 5th patriarch after he told Huineng straight away came to great awakening. Straight away he expressed it. So amazingly beautiful that nature itself is already complete by itself. And yet all Dhamma arise from that nature. Nothing is apart from it. So all this understanding will manifest. That's why when you are inside the awareness-based meditation, stabilizing, then when you see all this manifestation, creation, then the 4 circles that I teach become clear to you all. That's why now more and more Kayamita can understand all this already, which is really beautiful. Very good. So we should rejoice, huh? Sadhu. Okay. So already 10:32. I think.
Thank you. Radio, we can ask you to help us to lead us in the sharing of merits, please.
Can. Thank you. Okay. Let us share merits, starting with the Devas. Akasata Chilpumata Deva Naga Mahitika Punyantang Anumoditwa Chirang Rakantu Loka Sasana Ittavata Jamehi Sampadan Punya Sampadan Sabbe Deva Adamodantu Sabba Sampati Siddhya Idang Menyatina Hotu Sukita Hontu Nyatayo Idang Menyatina Hotu Sukita Hontu Nyatayo Idang Menyatina Hotu Sukita Hontu Nyatayo Devo Vasatu Kalina Sasa Sampati Hetocha Tito Bhavatu Lokocha Raja Bhavatu Dhammiko. อินินาปุญญังกาเมนะมาเมบาลสมากโมสักขัสสมากโมโหตุยาวานิวานาปาทิยาสาธุสาธุ Okay, you all can now pay respect mindfully to Lord Buddha, Guanyin Bodhisattva, and all the great beings there. And we will end the whole Zoom session. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.